So, part of the problem with the present political moment is that essentially nothing matters. I would say that the different political factions are essentially living in their distinct epistemic realities, meaning that the ways that knowledge and facts in general are justified comes down to different underlying processes of legitimation. Like, for example, a classical liberal or a more classical conservative might say that there are like objective realities about human nature, governance, and reality as a whole, and that the job of government is to help politics align with these fundamental truths. However, in our political landscape, what is like capital T true doesn't really seem that important. These things like ideology and values are just as changeable as they need to be, and it just really depends on what the in-group has to say. So the way that people are interpreting facts and beliefs about the world has more to do with adhering to social authority of the groups that people move in, rather than independently verifying or understanding reality in any way. The perfect example of this, obviously, is the MAGA movement, where if Donald Trump were to change his mind about abortion, gun rights, foreign policy, much of his party would just go with him just because he said so. It doesn't really matter what they might independently think, because that's not where the value of a truth claim comes from. Most Republicans pre-Trump were not isolationists. They hated Russia, and they were all free traders, and now not so much. To people like this, in movements like this, the value of a claim about reality comes from the person who said it. Think about it like this. If Trump really did stand in the middle of New York and shoot someone, would every MAGA person apply their value that murder is wrong? Or would they say that whoever got shot had it coming for some reason? I think I know what they'd say. And I'll be honest, I don't think this is a problem that's only on one side. It's clearly on both. But don't mistake that for me saying that the parties are the same. One is obviously worse than the other. We say that like MAGA lives in a cult for a reason. They can't interface with realities that the social movement doesn't allow them to. So of course they can't be talked out of a position, because once you disagree with Trump, you're like the enemy postmodern neo-Marxist or something like that, and of course he would say that. This obviously isn't to everyone who supports Trump, but it's certainly an archetype you'll see. I think it's important in discussions like this with like hardcore MAGA types to understand that they won't accept the reality of what you say, because you don't have access to like capital T truth in the way that they do through Trump.